Hello, XDR Sigma here. Another Master Duel video. It's going to be another replay this time. I have two interesting duels that happened. One was due to turning things around where multiple copies of a card. The other, after I turned some things around after trolling a deck I hate going against. For this first one, it's against this actor. This is the first time I went against an Abyss Actor deck, so I didn't really know too much on what I was supposed to do against their cards. So they the monster, they're gonna setting more scales and then bringing out more back row spells and traps. Ended up reading some of their back row and seeing that some of their cards had an effect for if it gets destroyed by set. That's why all the set cards I didn't destroy a single set card they had on the field. I'm not even sure and I think that I could destroy a set card, but I probably could. Actually, I could, but I didn't. I destroyed all the face up cards when I went to destroy a face up. So I went for terraforming, got zombie world just in case, because you never know. It's always good to have zombie world. So I summoned spirit masters. Then so I could summon another card from my hand. I synchroed into Squire Saga. Yeah. And I used her effect to banish. And then I destroyed one of their cards while boosting my effect. And then since I banished the card, their effect went off. That is me destroying another card in the field. So then their monster right now gains attack for whenever it's the only monster on their field. So that's why I got stronger there. And then they went back in their cards to gain cards from their deck to the hand, and then from their extra deck zone back to the hand. They like to recycle cards, it seems. So I used Swallow Slash and destroyed both of their scales. So then they would have to replace the scales rather than doing whatever they wanted to with their original scales. It's to hinder them a bit, but it wouldn't be too much of a hinder for them. But then I used Squire's effect to draw and discard one. I drew into my second Swallow Slash. Yeah, I wasn't worried too much for if they drew summon a bunch of monsters as long as I was able to still use my back row. It's for my chart card, I was able to special summon one monster from my graveyard. And now, so I saw they had those monsters out. I was gonna let their monster with 2500 attack first. I was hoping it attacked first altogether too, so when it attacked, I was gonna use my trap, but they ended their turn, ended their battle phase, so I decided to wait to use the trap because it wasn't necessary at that moment. So then I drew my card and I used my Haunted Shrine to bang back Fire Saga. And then I used the effect, gained attack, destroyed one of their scales, and then I attacked their monster. They used their scales, so my monster loses that attack. I wasn't worried about that because I was planning on using Swallow's last next turn anyway. So she wasn't gonna be on the field for long. Whether it'll be attacked over or by a Swallow Slash. So they used their spell and trap cards. I don't remember exactly what they did, but to see they got one scale back from their extra deck zone, got two. Then they're gonna end up, so they got all of them. Gonna end up setting another scale, I believe, and doing pendulum summons. Seems I was wrong, and not going to do that just yet. They gained attack, so my PVC attacks were not as good no more because they just gained the attack back. But I used Swallow Slash to destroy two of their cards, banished the card, and then I destroyed another one, I believe. So I destroyed three of their cards. And then after that, I don't know if they attacked or they ended up. But yeah, I was able to bring back Squad Saga. Then they ended their main phase because I didn't want to clash, I suppose. Then they got cards back to their hand again. Set the scale like I thought it was going to be before, and now they're going to Pendulum Summon. And then my next turn, I was hoping to draw into a monster so I can use my spell card, then get a tuner out, and go into my level 10. But technically, if I drew into the tuner, I wouldn't use a spell. But see, I don't remember exactly what happened if I drew a monster or I drew not. Just if I drew my Swallow Slash. So yeah, it's like, really? I drew the Swallow Slash so many times. I knew it was useful because I could just have to use it to destroy two of their cards again for the next turn. So I did the attack again. The monster loses the attack because of their scale. So it's basically a repeat of last turn. They're gonna do their stuff. I'm gonna use Swallow Slash again. Thinking they're probably thinking, Billy, this is the third time you did this to me. And I'll be like, yeah, sorry, it's just the cards I drew into. Yeah, you Swallow Slash to destroy the scales, banish, and I'm gonna destroy their 2500 monster. I don't know why they didn't attack with their 1600 because that would just be a free attack. I drew the Book of Life. It's like I can summon Square Saga again. They're probably thinking to themselves, how many times are you gonna summon her from the grave? And I'm saying, as many times as I need to. Destroyed that monster. They did their things. Got some card back. Go to main phase 2. I end my turn. And then by now we're both running out of plays here. Having that many cards in our hands and field. They paid 1,000 life points, drew into a card, and then they set the scale again. And then they're gonna end up doing something which lets them summon their monster, then they're gonna switch control of monsters. They did some big brain moves, but it ends up not working out in the end too much, I believe. So they use their effects to do this, and then because when they switch monsters, the spell card they have, when the attack is declared, the monster goes back to hand. So basically, they attack, the monster goes back to their hand. They didn't really lose much there because the monster instead of being destroyed, it just goes back to their hand. I see, never mind with there. I was thinking something else, maybe. But let's see, I drew into I drew into Squire, so I was able to summon her. And then I went for my doing it, and I'm gonna use the effect rather than single summoning because I wanted to go into the level 10 instead of level 7. So I single summoned here and got the main man himself, Sun Saga, and then they ended up surrendering. That's the end of that duel. They were too afraid of Sun Saga, or they just had nothing they could do to stop him. And now the second duel is against a deck that I really hate going against with some of the cards that they're using. And it starts with a B and ends in a D, but it gets branded, you will be correct. But they're also using Dragon Maids. So it's a Dragon Maid branded deck, which is annoying, but they didn't really use their Dragon Maid cards, so it wasn't as bad as it could be. Here, I single summon to Square Saga right away. They used the effect so I could destroy their back row, but they used spin drop it so I couldn't use the effect. But it's best to give it a for doing dropping down rather than later. Anyway, it's gonna be going anyway, so then excuse me, and then I use my spell so I can get my tuner back. And then I went into Sun Saga. So basically, Forbidden Droplet, they used it, but they didn't really get much out of it. And then I use the effects, send it back to the extra deck to destroy a card, so I can attack directly. And I ended my turn right there. And then they did their play, and I was like, that's when I saw Fallen Albus, and I was like, damn it, it's branded. Then they're using their monster and mine to go into Arbor Drain. And I was just like, seriously? I mean, Mirror Jade. Uh, my words. They attacked, so then I was like, okay, so then Mirror Jade's banishing effect. It's a double-edged sword for them, I suppose. I was thinking, saying they could banish my monsters, but most of my monsters have effects when they get banished, so they had to use it wisely. So then I turned to the zombies. So then I banish my monster to bring back monster, but they're gonna end up banishing him. I slide him into the banishment because I have ways to summon monsters from being banished. But then if my monster effect goes off, I make them attack power, weakening their Mirror Jade. And then I set another card, I summon Spectral Sword. And that's when I bring back monsters from my banishment. But since I special summon, my turn, they went for their turn. And then they granted fusion so they could get another monster. I was like, okay, so they have granted fusion. So they went into Alberon. They used Alberon's effect so they could continue doing what they wanted with another monster. Decided they went to that other one. So then they went Searing for Liberion. So now they had their three fusion monsters out. So then they fusion summoned again. They went to Petaprant, which was very annoying with this one because it not only lowers my monster's uh, level they want down to level 1, it also negates the effects. So that makes it extremely hard to go into synchro plays since they lower my monster's level and then I would be able to synchro. So I'd have to bait out their effect first before I can synchro. Without having Core and the Mummy in my hand, so I can have a special summon as long as I don't have a monster in the field, so I'll special summon one, and then I can do my normal summon afterwards. But here they negate my effect, so then I continue my play. I to banish, take my two of my banished monsters and then put back in deck, but they had Ash Blossom. So I was like, okay, damn it, I can't do that. I have to wait till next turn now. Because I figures that the one card in their hand was Ash Blossom. I went to attack, but then they banished, so they could banish my monster. So it's like, okay, my monster gets banished, and I lower their monster's attack to get another one of their monsters. Then I summon Special Sword, and then I use the effect to bring back two of my monsters. So I was going to end up having things go into a loop where I was trying to plan it. Because I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to win this, and Brennan's annoying, so I'm just gonna annoy them to the point where I can't do it anymore. I was just being petty out of spite at this point. Eh. But in the end, I was like, yeah, I know it's petty, it is spiteful, but as branded, they deserve no less. So then they attack, my effect goes off, special sword goes back to my hand, I, they attack, they can't do any damage because my job is they can't do any battle damage, so it's like, okay, so now I'm gonna, I mean, this time I stay back on my turn to banish two, so I get a draw one. Then I summoned Shrine, summoned a Banshee. They used the effect to negate, but then I was able to banish her with her. Since she was banished on the field, her effect was able to go off. So then I used Core on the Mummy to bring out Spectral Sword. Use the effect, bring back two. And as you can see, this is a loop. As long as I can keep doing this, the loop will continue. And I would avoid them to no end. I, I summoned Sun Saga. That way, once she's banished, I could lower the attack even further. I used to be droplet again, so that it's like okay, so there's a second forbidden droplet I just used. So I just found a forbidden droplet, Ash Blossom, forbidden droplet. I'm like, are they really like stopping all my stuff with these? But I was like, I can still go on. Then my turn ends, they use the effect, the banish. I was like, okay. Then to make the monster lose even more attack power. And then I was like, okay, so my turn I can use Monster Shrine to bring back a monster. And then I can banish it with my trap guard so they can use no battle damage, so they get to try to attack directly. Like okay, it's hard Shrine, bring back Samurai, they went to attack Samurai, then I was like, okay, here we go. Banish, get it back to my hand, no damage. The chain goes on again. Another loop of this endless loop. I was like, but I can't keep this loop up forever. So I was gonna have to think of something. Then they went Predator Plant. As I, okay, so what are they gonna do afterwards with this? I was fearing that they would go DPE, but they didn't do that. So I was okay, that's a relief at least. I used for the mummy, they used infinite inference. So that was hurtful there. I used Spirit Master, spending on synchroing, but they changed the level, so I couldn't do that. So it's like, okay, so then, okay, do from here. I was like, I'll just activate the deck, so it get negated, but whatever. I was gonna lose the monster anyway. So then I drew one, I hit my turn, and then I'm gonna still chop again to banish, so no damage will be done. So they jog the monster, make it dark. Then they use the super poly. That's when I changed my attack and I banished it. So now they lost their target, but they had to choose something else. So they chose their Mirror Jade. And I was like, yes, Mirror Jade is gone. That's the excitement I had. They had to go to Star and Venom. After that, they surrendered. I was like, I just trolled Brandon to the end, and I won. It was a victory, and I loved it. Well, hope everyone had a great time. Thank you for watching.